Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Talks with Teal. This week's episode, we're going to be talking about how to choose yourself. So initially you may think to yourself, of course I already choose myself, but let's actually talk about where we seek external validation in our everyday life and perhaps also in our relationships, in our work life. There are so many different areas where we're actually seeking guidance or answers externally to ourselves. And in every single scenario where that's the case, we're actually not choosing ourselves. So this has been a really interesting topic that's come especially like the past week as we've been navigating eclipse season, but truly whenever you find this video is when you're meant to find and receive the information within it. But the more we can recognize where we're not choosing ourselves is usually the area that needs like the most amount of focus, love, support, and or healing. So for example, if you find yourself constantly needing external validation, let's first start with social media. So as an example, when you post, it is very human and normal, almost all of us do it, to look for the likes. How many likes did this receive? How many views did it get? It is a form of external validation. And this isn't to like bring about like we shouldn't do that or to cause shame. It's just simply to bring awareness into how is this showing up for you? And what areas and aspects of your life are you seeking externally outside of yourself for validation? Oftentimes when people aren't feeling the best about themselves, as an example, is when they post, as we call like trap posts, to get that validation that we're desperately seeking. And here's the thing that's really important about all of this is the more we seek outside of ourselves, the less we actually receive the very thing that we're looking for. So oftentimes this is healing. There's many different wounds depending on where you're at in your journey that this can present itself as, but just know that anytime we're seeking something external outside of us, like it's a quick hit. Like it's essentially going to be a quick dopamine hit of I'm not feeling good about myself, so I'm going to like post a thirst trap as an example. We get the dopamine hit of the validation, the likes, people responding, whatever it is. And then it's only temporary. So we're going to need another quick hit. And at the end of the day, it's not filling the void within inside of ourselves that is seeking or longing for validation, for love, for being liked, for confidence, for whatever it is. Confidence is actually like deeply linked to this as well. When we're seeking things outside of ourselves, it's not real confidence. It's fake confidence is what I like to call it. And so when we need external validation to make ourselves feel good, it's simply showing to us our inability to feel good on our own, which is very much connected to choosing ourselves. So when we need external approval, we're choosing other people over ourselves at like a very baseline. So social media is a very simple way that this shows up, but another way that this shows up as well is in our relationships. So this is especially for, it can be if you're in a relationship, but especially for my single girlies and guys, is how often do you just want to be chosen? How often, because it feels good, right? Like because you get that dopamine like gratification boost of like I'm wanted and that feels good, and that's a very normal human desire. But it's really important to bring awareness into when, especially when you're single and perhaps also when you're in a relationship, but do I just simply want to be chosen? Do I even actually like this person? And notice what wounds are connected into that, because this is sort of like we're starting at a surface level and then diving deeper, right? So for example, if you're constantly choosing partners that are bad for you, at the end of the day, you're not choosing yourself. And it's like you're not prioritizing your own personal needs because you're choosing people that either go against those needs, don't satisfy them for whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you're not choosing yourself. So if you find yourself continuously in connections or relationships, or you're dating and you're finding people like these people just don't treat me right, or I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people and I really need emotional support, as an example, it's like when you meet someone, like within the first couple meetings if that's going to be a person who's capable of providing you the support that you need. So either it's stemming from a lack of awareness of the type of support that you need, or it's stemming from you're aware that they can't give it to you, but you really want them to like fit the bill. You really want them. It's like almost like if the shoe fits, but the shoe's not fitting, and we're like forcing like square peg, round hole kind of a situation. And in those scenarios, it's important to start to choose yourself. Because, and it's one of the cliches they always say, it's like when you start choosing yourself, that's when everyone else chooses you. And you can't reverse Uno it. You can't like say, if everyone else chooses me, then I'll choose myself, because it's not stemming from real validation, because external validation is simply showing you the wounds of where you need to validate yourself. So I'm gonna let that sink in. And this is just simply to bring awareness into this aspect of your life. And I always like to say, never ever shame yourself for realizing, oh my gosh, I've been seeking external validation in any area. It's simply, let's just, first step always is bringing awareness into something. And then the second is to shift if you want to continue to do the behavior, or if you want to shift and pivot into actually choosing yourself. So let's take a step back and imagine a world where everyone chose themselves, not in a like egotistical type of way, but in a way of like, what if we all honored ourselves each individually so deeply that we only made choices for our highest good, that we only made choices for our highest good when it came to career, when it came to relationships, when it came to our daily existence, life, and choices? What would that look like if each individual person chose the best for themselves? The world would be a better place. And what's happening a lot is we're needing quick fixes. We're needing quick hits. I haven't been in a relationship forever, so I need this relationship. But it's like not with the right person, and we're not honoring our needs if we know that, as an example, that they're not providing emotional support for us, and we know that's a need of ours, then in choosing that person, you're actually not choosing yourself, and you're not choosing your needs, focusing or prioritizing on them. And so it's really important to start to bring awareness into this. What area of your life are you not choosing yourself? It can also be validating yourself externally through work environments. I'm going to take a moment to pause before I say this because I feel like it may be triggering for some. In the career field that you're currently in, did you choose it for yourself or did somebody else choose it for you? So oftentimes we can fall into the same type of career as parents or figures that we grew up with because they told us it's the best path, whatever it might be. And sometimes that can be true for ourselves, but oftentimes when that happens, you're simply allowing someone else to choose something for you than yourself, which disconnects you from your soul. It disconnects you from your soul's purpose, its wisdom, because we're not honoring that. And the more we don't honor our own inner wisdom, the more we don't honor our own inner soul guidance, the quieter it gets, because it's like, I'm hands off, she's not listening to me, so, or he's not listening to me, so they're just going to keep ignoring that wisdom, which is why it's so important to bring the remembrance back in to choosing ourselves, choosing what feels best for you, because what feels best for you is going to feel best for those around you. Staying in relationships that aren't serving you is probably not serving the other person as well. And it's just such a pivotal moment in time to start to notice, where are you not choosing yourself? Where are you allowing other people to choose for you? This can also look like validation from a boss, as an example, like constantly people pleasing to get validation from a boss to make ourselves feel better. But at the end of the day, that's just overcompensating for some lack within ourselves that we need the external validation for. And therefore, we're choosing somebody else and their guidance and their validation over choosing our own. And one of the most challenging things that we can learn actually is how to validate ourselves, because it's not necessarily something that we're taught, which is unfortunate. And it's not necessarily something that comes easier naturally to us. Like, very much in today's society, we're taught to look external to ourselves for the guidance within the system, within the teachers, within the parents, within like the overarching figures of like, what do we need to do? What's important to me? And this is a really important time collectively on the planet. It's time to ask yourself, what's important to you? What are your values? What do you want to live your life by? And when you can get clear on that and start to make decisions based off of that, that is when you are choosing yourself. So this can be a really powerful moment in time. Perhaps journaling after today's session and talk is to really start to get clear on, where in my life am I seeking external validation? Is it in my friendships? Is it in my romantic life? Is it in my job? Is it just via social media? Like, what is it? What area? And then dive deeper. What part of me needs to learn how to validate myself instead of seeking it externally? And then ask yourself, what areas in my life am I choosing other people before myself? This can show up often as martyrdom, especially like for parents who are like, I always put my kids first, which is a beautiful thing. But at the end of the day, like, if you're not choosing yourself, you're not teaching your children how to choose themselves either and prioritize their well-being. And so it has like the trickle down effect. So it's really important collectively for us to start connecting into our own sense of self, our own value system, and making decisions that are of greatest and best service for us. And we will always be supported when that happens. So know that this found you in the right timing, and it's important to start to choose yourself. I also feel like there's a decent portion of the collective as well that's been really going through it in the romantic relationship department. And notice if you're always longing for people that don't want you or that people don't choose you. and you're asking yourself, why are they choosing me? Like, why am I not good enough? If you ever find yourself going down that rabbit hole, it's because you're needing to learn to validate yourself, but also to choose yourself. It also can be linked to like a abandonment wound, and that's like a very specific set of the collective, but there is a portion of the collective that is experiencing that at this moment in time. And at the end of the day, it's time to choose yourself, whether it is your goals, your aspirations in your career, your goals and aspirations and needs, and honoring those in your relationships, or your goals or aspirations just in general in your life. And how are you living your day-to-day life, and is that in alignment with how you wish to live your life? Is that in alignment with your value system? Are you choosing someone else's value system, choosing someone else's way of life? I feel like all of us just have, like, we're looking over our shoulder at somebody else's plan or program and be like, I want that, so I'm gonna just mirror that, or I'm gonna copy that. Please don't ever copy anyone else's life. If somebody has something that you want, use it as inspiration. Don't ever be jealous of. Don't try to copy someone else's mannerisms, way of living, existence, career path, whatever it is. It's important for you to connect into your soul and ask yourself, what do you really desire? If this is the first time you've ever asked yourself that and you're like, oh my God, I actually don't know the answer to that, don't freak out. Just start to allow the answer to flow to you. Ask the question, and perhaps you'll receive the answer in a few days, perhaps even a few weeks, or maybe you could take a couple of months. There's so much within this talk today, and I just want you to take whatever tidbits that you needed to support yourself on your journey, to bring the awareness into whatever area in your life that you need more awareness brought into, so you can start to make the changes in your life to support yourself to live your best available life. Because at the end of the day, that's what we came here for, not to live a life based off of what other people think that we should be doing, but to live a life based off of what's important for you. Honor your needs, honor your values. It's time to start choosing yourself. I hope that you find this helpful. Let me know in the comments if this resonated for you, what area in your life you're finding this resonates for you as well, and make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time.